Hi everyone, it's Sarah from Plan Sarah Plan, and welcome to my review of the 2025 PowerSheets. I have been so excited to show you this ever since it arrived because it's just so gorgeous. And I ordered a few accessories to go along with this. I've got a snap-in paper pack for to-do lists, and I've got this Cultivated Life Evaluation Guide. This goes hand in hand with this, and this snaps in. So, and these are just fun pens. They are gel pens with black ink, and we'll look at them in a second. I just want to show you my PowerSheets. So I started using PowerSheets in 2024. The brightness, the colorfulness, the bling of this planner is unparalleled. It's just really sparkly. There's gold foiling throughout. When you open it up, you get a pocket and a couple of little extras. Okay, so my word of the year, what a gorgeous card if you choose to do that. 2025 at a glance. It's removable so you can take it around and use it as you are working throughout the book, and a list of holidays for 2025, and then a complimentary sticker sheet. So this is the kind of hot pink pocket here, and super cute gold lined pinstripe, sort of horizontal stripes on the inside of the cover. PowerSheets Intentional Goal Planner. Okay, so I recently reviewed Moxie Life, and I just want to tell you, for those of you who are trying to choose between PowerSheets and Moxie Life, one of the big differences is that the PowerSheets is not your actual planner, whereas Moxie Life has the planner in it. You can get a planner from this same company to go along with your PowerSheets. It's called a season by season planner, but it's not all in one book. So that's one of the big differences between the particular flagship Moxie that I reviewed and this PowerSheets. So we've got the mission statement here of Cultivate What Matters. Let's find out what the mission is. At Cultivate What Matters, we're passionate about helping you uncover what truly matters and live it out with joy. For over a decade, our tools and teaching have sparked positive and powerful change in thousands of lives across the globe, including ours. We're grateful you're here. It's our joy to walk alongside you as you cultivate your most intentional life. We're cheering you on. Okay, your fresh start begins here, and I'm not going to go through every detail, but just kind of an overview of everything. You are going to, in 3 steps, uncover what matters, break it down, and live it out. And this is a new spread in this year's PowerSheets, a year of progress, not perfection. Your PowerSheets journey is not just about setting goals, it's about living a cultivated life. Here's a roadmap for what to expect. And then you're just going to kind of follow this roadmap along. I think this is adorable, actually. So write your name on page 1. This marks your start. Choose your 2025 goals. Break down your goals using your goal action plan pages, and it tells you the page numbers. Then select a word of the year and set yourself up for success with your first routines reset. And then commit to what matters as you create your tending list for January, and we'll get into that, and then take your first step on a January goal. And then you write in what that first step was. Well, this is just fun. This takes kind of some of the trepidation out of making the first mark in your planner. Your cultivated year has just begun. This is another new page. I love this because you're going to come here every month and check off when you have created your tending list for the month. I'll explain what that is when we get there, but look forward to these milestones throughout the rest of 2025. So it actually goes this way. It's numbered if you forget that. So here is December. All right, and I believe there is a money-back guarantee from Cultivate What Matters. If you have filled out a certain number of these tending lists, I think it might be 9 of them, maybe 10 of them, and you don't feel like this has worked for you, they will give you a full money-back guarantee. Brainstorm your year ahead to mark your start. Dig in. What do you want to cultivate in the year ahead? Write your goal ideas for 2025 here. No perfect handwriting required. Dig in and dream. So some examples are save more money, get outdoors daily, take care of my body, be present with my loved ones, grow my friendships. By the way, I am going to do in my Facebook group, I am going to do a move-in to my PowerSheets when that time comes, hopefully before the beginning of January. All right, come alive again. What do you want to cultivate in the year ahead, and what are you passionate about? There's more to that, but name what fires you up. What do you love? To uncover your unique passions, those things you're willing to trade your time, resources, and energy for, start with the things you love to do or have in your life and write them here. And they give you examples like being outdoors, generosity, time with family, seeing the ocean, reading inspiring books, delighting someone unexpectedly, travel, learn from the past. Goal setting is usually about looking forward, but there are rewards waiting for you in the past. So you're going to identify good things, challenges, lessons, and gratitude when you're looking back. And there's a place to list those. So a block for good things, challenges, lessons, and gratitude. Then we're going to talk about areas of life. So this is where there is some overlap between Moxie Life and Cultivate What Matters PowerSheets. It's not exactly the same, but we have 8 areas of life. So community, family, home and spaces, spiritual and personal growth, finances, health and wellness, work and learning, and then you identify the 8th one. So that's a little bit different. Cultivate your mindset. What has shaped your beliefs about your identity, like comparing yourself to others, social media, and then upgrade your mindset to grow confidence in who you are. Upgrading a limiting mindset can free you to pursue your most powerful year, purposeful year. Name any negative thought patterns below and then write how you might reframe them. So you have an example here of I am bad with money, and you can turn that into I am learning to manage my money. Or turn I am lazy and unorganized into I am learning to take care of my home. So you just list your negative thoughts about yourself or just your mindset and then reframe it in a positive way. Name what matters, and some examples are what will have mattered: close relationships with my kids, opening my home to others, mentoring the next generation. What won't have mattered is what other people were doing on social media, getting one more thing done, and how early I retired. So you'll list what will have mattered and what won't have mattered when you look back on your life. And then make decisions to own where you will spend your time. So examples of what you might say yes to and what you might say no to: yes to morning bike rides, candles at dinner, cheering others on. And no to buying stuff I don't need, rushing others, believing I'm not enough. Grow what lasts longer than you. That's heavy. Grow what lasts longer than you. My most purposeful year. So this looks like a Mad Libs, if you ask me, because it is fill in the blank. It's not at all a Mad Libs, but those of you from my generation will know exactly what I'm talking about. So let's dream. Imagine it, the end of 2025. What would it take for you to look back and know that you cultivated what matters? What will you be glad you decided today? Flip back through everything you've written so far and then fill this page out. The first page of your new story. My name is I Dream of Being. This year I'm focusing on, and then you just fill that out. Choose your focus. You're doing great. And some information to kind of encourage you. Types of goals we have: big dreams, finish lines, and habits. So in Moxie Life, we also had 3 different types of goals. The big dream goals in PowerSheets are goals that don't really have a stopping point. They are just big dreams, like ways of living, ways of being that don't necessarily get checked off of the list. Finish line goals are things that you actually complete, things like projects that have a deadline. And habits are things that are repetitive behaviors that help you to live the way that you want to live, a way that's in line with your values, your intentions, and also to reach your finish line goals. So you can brainstorm your goals here. This is not your final draft. This is brainstorming. So in community, family, finances, health and wellness, home and spaces, spiritual and personal growth, work and learning, and then your personal 8th category, what are some ideas for goals in each of those categories? Set goals that stick. So Bloom stands for break it down little by little, on purpose, on a schedule, and measurable. Bloom where you are planted by breaking your goals down. So example, steward my finances well. That is a yearly goal. So you want to have a Q1 finish line. So an example might be complete a comprehensive review of my finances. Log into all my accounts, total up all my debt and assets. Note when payments are due and when paychecks come in. So that's a 3-month project. And then quarter 2 finish line goal. Make a budget and use a budget tracking system. Then your finish line goal for quarter 3 could be establish a regular rhythm of financial check-ins. Quarter 4 finish line goal. Build a relationship with a financial advisor. Ask friends for recommendations. Set up introductory meetings and enroll with an advisor. Just totally fictional here. That's just an example. Another one is grow my friendships. So that is a big goal. It's the yearly goal. You could break it down, and I won't read it all, but quarter 1, host a book swap party. Quarter 2, connect regularly with long distance friends. Quarter 3, establish monthly friend lunches. I do this. Quarter 4, cultivate friendships in my neighborhood. I do that also. Okay, dreams become decisions when you cultivate them. Isn't this beautiful? Everything in here is so colorful. So here is where you go ahead and you set those yearly goals. And there is a faint outline of a flag or a banner here. And that is so that you can either color it in or put a sticker of the color that corresponds with the 8 areas of life. So here are the colors. And I believe I figured out last year that there was one of each. So if you set goals that have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, these are kind of variances on those colors. This is like more than the specific 8 colors, but you could use these. I think they would fit nicely right here. Or you can buy a sticker book. So I have some pretty sticker books to color code. They have those available, and they often run them on sale too. Okay, it's time to bloom where you're planted. This is gorgeous. How do you grow a garden? You tend to it little by little. A little bit more info. Let's go. Goal action plan. Break it down to get it done. What I want. So for each of those yearly goals, you can write the yearly goal here and then write down your why. Articulate what it is that makes you want to have this goal and reach it. What can I do? So you just kind of brainstorm and identify things that you're going to need, whether it's money or accountability, a certain space, a certain amount of time, some help from an expert. Answer these questions, identify which area of life it's from, and is this a big dream goal, a finish line goal, or a habits goal, or a combination? So then, this is what's cool about Cultivate What Matters. We don't start all of these goals on January 1st. You decide, are you going to work on this in season 1, season 2, season 3, season 4? You decide what is most appropriate for this goal. Then you have room for another goal here. So let's see how many. This is the second goal, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 8. So you have room for 8 goals, and that will correspond to these 8 yearly goals that you've set here. Doesn't have to be all 8, keep in mind. It can just be 1 or 2 if you want. Then we have pace yourself for success. Focus on the first season. Spread out your starts. So that's what we were talking about. Don't start everything on January 1st. Consider your resources. To everything there is a season in the garden and in your goals. And then you read more about that. This is a neat chart. Season 1, January, February, March. Season 2 is April, May, and June. So each season is a quarter, okay? It's just more fun to call quarter 1 season 1. That just kind of sounds more like we're gardeners and we're growing some beautiful flowers as our goals. Make it easy to remember. Keep going. This work you're doing is making a difference. In the thick of it, it's not always easy to remember what matters most. On top of the bustle of life, your brain may rebel when you set a new goal or change your behavior. That is true, preferring to stay in its comfort zone. Because of this, you will need boosts of energy to keep up momentum throughout 2025. A word of the year and a vision board can do that for you. They're 2 tools to remind you of where you're headed and what matters most as you take steps to make your goals a reality. So you brainstorm your word of the year here. My word of the year last year was finisher, because I tend to have a lot of open projects. I still do, but I still have some time left in 2024. I have several open projects, but my word of the year for 2024 was finisher. So for 2025, you get this beautiful page here to write your word and to explain, if you want to, why you chose that word. Visualize what is ahead. You'll notice these pages are perforated. Not every single page, like your word of the year page, is perforated. So you could maybe laminate this sheet and put it somewhere where you can see it often. And you're not going to sacrifice anything on the back because this is just like a hot pink with white dot grid on it. So you could take that one out. This is a vision board that you might also want to take out. So put pictures or just some pretty lettering of things that inspire you and point you toward what you value, what's important to you, and the kind of life that you feel called to live. Live it out. You've uncovered what matters, and you've begun to break it down into smaller goals, action steps, and habits to cultivate. Now it's time to live your cultivated year, month by month, and day by day. The monthly pages in the rest of your planner will guide you, and here's what to expect. You will get monthly calendar pages, not a weekly calendar though, monthly planning pages, and the tending list. This is where it all comes together. Most PowerSheets users leave their planner flipped open to the habit tracker page. That is what the tending list is. Think of your tending list as a to-do list for what matters most. It's where you commit to a focus for each month, making little by little progress on your yearly goals by breaking them down into monthly, weekly, and daily action steps. Your tending list will help you see the power in progress, not perfection. How to make a tending list. You review your goals, sort your action steps, simplify, and focus. 3 powerful reminders. You don't need to fill in every line. That's important for me because I do feel like I need to. Number 2, the goal isn't a perfectly checked off list. Okay, that's also important for me to know. Put your tending list somewhere you'll see it every day. And one more word about perfection. We find joy and abundant life in little by little progress. When we aim for perfection, we fail. When we aim for progress, we finish. Here, you're going to equip yourself with some plans ahead of time. Like decide early, when my plans don't go as I planned, I will remind myself of what matters in the big picture, make my goal or action steps smaller or simpler, ask a friend for help or accountability, and be kind to myself. And then you have room for 2 other things that you can decide now to do before you get in a rut or discouraged. Look at the beautiful divider page. This is gorgeous. This is unique to PowerSheets. Other planners don't really have this super bright kind of slick cardstock for their dividers. Plus the tab is laminated. So it's a slick cardstock, and then you have gold foiling for the words January through December, of course, and then it's laminated on top, reinforced, and the back of it is just as pretty. This would make a nice background for some photos if you wanted to decorate on that. All right, this is what you will get every single month. Your monthly reset. For January, what are my important to-dos? What are goals that I want to make progress on? What's on my calendar? What's on my mind? Here is last year's monthly reset, and it looks pretty much the same, but I like how they have added more color to the 8 areas of life for your evaluation check. Last year, it was just a hint of the color, and this is better in my opinion. You're going to give yourself a score here on a scale of 1 to 10 for community, family, finances, health and wellness, home and spaces, spiritual and personal growth, work and learning, and then the 8th area that you select. And then here is your calendar, very neutral. So it's a Sunday start calendar. The days before January are not numbered, they're just blank boxes. And then the first day of February is just a blank box. There's a dot grid area for your sidebar. Core truth, any day can be a fresh start. Love that. So you need to, in order to be able to like set the right types of goals for January, you need to be aware of what is on your calendar. Also use your calendar to kind of plot what you're going to make progress on, when you might do it based on your availability, when are your least busy times, when are the optimum times of the month to make progress on your goals. Believe in little by little progress. Now, you see the QR code here. When you scan this, you'll get more routine resources. This is a new feature this year. So make a specific plan, stack your new habit, make the best choice the most obvious, grow in community, and set a timer. I'm not going to read all of this, but this is great information for how to establish some new habits and to work them into your routines. So here is your routine reset. Decision fatigue is the enemy of good decisions. So if you decide ahead of time what your routines are, you are going to be less likely to just fritter your time away. So you're going to have a morning routine for this first season, January through March, evening routine, a weekend reset routine, and then decide what kind of a routine you want to have here. Maybe it's an afternoon routine, or maybe it is a laundry routine. Maybe it is a filming routine if you're a YouTuber like me. So then, love this, weekly rhythm ideas for the season. Use these 2 pages to brainstorm the habits and regular rhythms that will help you live out what matters in this season. What will help you spend your time well? So obviously, if you work, you're going to put your work hours in here, block that out, and capitalize on when your highest energy free times are. I catch myself scrolling social media or just doing nonsense sorts of things sometimes when I have free time because I am not adhering, at least loosely, to my ideal weekly schedule or weekly rhythms. Now let me show you what I did last year on this page. I plotted in when my piano lesson hours are. I help my mom with things 3 days a week, so I scheduled when the mom days are. And then I decided what would be the best times for me to work on my various goals. This was really helpful. It helped me to kind of identify the best times to do things I was already doing that weren't goals, but just things that I have to do each week. And it just has helped me to establish a better rhythm. And I remember that this was a very productive season. I was waking up super early. Now, part of that was due to anxiety, but it was very helpful for getting projects done. Now, break it down. We have room for 6 goals here. The smaller you can make your next step, the more likely you are to make it. So we've got 6 goals that we're going to work on. This is not all 8 of your annual goals. We have up to 6. It could even be just 1. But you have up to 6. So you list the goal and then make it into as many small steps as you possibly can. If you need more room than this, then just draw a column divider here and double the amount of small steps, tiny steps that you can make, because little by little adds up. Here is your tending list, and this is another perforated page. So this is basically your habit tracking page. It has the month up here, encouraging words, your priority of the month, monthly action items. If you got something kind of halfway done, you would shade in this bar halfway. If you finished it, you would shade it in all the way. Weekly action items or rhythms. This is broken into weeks, so you check each thing off when you have done it for the week. Then daily action items or habits. There's room for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of these. And then what is so cool about this, I'm going to hold it up closer for you. What is so cool about this is that because this is January, it is specific to January 2025. We know that it starts on a Wednesday. January 1st is a Wednesday. So you get a partial week here, and then you get a whole week there. You get exactly the right number of days starting on the right day of the week even each month. So I found that out last year, that this is not just a copy of the exact same page every month. It's really nice. So this is perforated for you to keep it where you can see it. Then at the end of the month, what you're going to do is reflect. So your favorite memories go here, action steps you're proud of, gratitude, goals that are growing well, what is not working, what I read or listened to, and a song that I listened to on repeat. This month and you can check these things off, cultivated what matters, pivoted like a pro and didn't give up, and moving on to a new month or other. You're choosing what best describes how you did. Now look at the difference here in the February tab color this year. So last year we had an ice blue divider for February. This year it is a dark teal one. Now there are other color schemes for the covers of these PowerSheets, and I'm not exactly sure if the interior pages are different in those than they are on this one. I'm not sure, but I would imagine that they're the same on the inside, even if you chose like a solid color cover. So So here's February. You get all of the same things. So I'm going to skip kind of quickly through February. You get a brand new tending list, a brand new 6 goals to break down, a monthly reflection. Here is our tab for March, and let's go ahead and compare colors because it was green last year and it is kind of fuchsia this year. And then March, the reason we want to keep going here is because we want to see what happens at the end of a quarter. All right, here we are. We're at the end of season 1 or quarter 1. Your refresh is here. Your PowerSheets connect the power of big picture vision with the potency of shorter windows of progress. Each quarter, you will check in on that vision and break through what's holding you back and learn something new that will keep you moving forward. It's time for your first one, so let's go. Quarterly refresh. It's time for a refresh. You put your previous score and then how you would score yourself now. So the score the last time you did an evaluation and then now. Now, one thing that I will say Moxie Life has in the book that Cultivate What Matters does not have in the book is an evaluation with a lot of questions. However, those questions help you to arrive at a better number, but look what you have now. This is the Cultivated Life Evaluation Guide. So if you want to give yourself a score in community and you don't want it to be totally random, then you can answer these questions. You get one for the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, and fourth quarter. So what you're going to do for January is give yourself a score on a very specific question that has to do with community. Then you will add your score. Each one is from 1 to 10. Add up your score in this column, then divide by the number of questions that you answered. So if you answered all 10, you will divide the total in this column by 10, and that will give you your score for this. There's a column for January, February, and March. And then when you do your quarterly reset, there's another column for that. This is the second quarter. You have the same questions each time, so that way it makes sense that you're comparing one score to the next. Okay, so this is the Cultivated Life Evaluation Guide. This is an optional thing that you can add on, and I think it's $16. Yes, it is. It's 5.5 by 8.5. $16. And if you were to get a PowerSheets, which is $64, you can get 10% off, by the way. If you use my code PLAN, it will be $6.40 less than that, so like 56 maybe, something like that. But if you were to get this and this, you would reach the $75 free shipping threshold, so keep that in mind. This page is keep moving forward. Try it, make a plan. Implementation of intentions are one of the most widely studied goal-setting techniques. In fact, a study of the British Journal of Health Psychology found that 91% of people who planned their intention to exercise by writing down when and where they would exercise each week ended up following through. Your turn. Don't stop at simply choosing your action steps for each week or month. Instead, write down a simple plan for when and where you will act. Examples: I will read for 15 minutes at 10:30 p.m. in my bed. I will swim for 30 minutes at 8 a.m. on Mondays and Wednesdays at the Y. I will edit our family vacation video at 8 p.m. on Thursday. Oh, that's really smart stuff there. Where have you seen the most growth in your yearly goals this season, and which yearly goals need more nourishment? Then my refreshed goals. You know how we set our annual goals at the very beginning of this? You can refresh them. They might be identical, but I have a feeling if you're anything like me, they will be a little bit modified. Okay, so these are your yearly goals still, but you get another chance to either affirm those goals, rework those goals, drop some goals, or add in some new ones. Plan for the season ahead. Now that you've refreshed your goals for the new season, choose 3 next steps for each. Then love your future self well by spacing them out over the next 3 months. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So all 8 of these goals, you will list 3 action steps, like the next 3 action steps. So in other words, this is going to get you started. These are baby steps to get started. And I think this used to be in PowerSheets and they took it out last year and then people missed it and they put it back in this year. I'm gonna double check that. That is correct. So they added it back in and I'm glad that they did. I will love this. It's just like you're pushed to get going on each of these goals. then your routine reset. So now we finished January through March. We're in April. It's a new season. We might want to have a different morning routine or a different evening routine. Weekend routine could be different. And then you might want to add in a fourth that's totally different than the fourth you had in the first season. This is a notes page that is dot grid. And then you're going to set your weekly rhythms for the season all over again. So that's smart, because I know that I was waking up super early January through March, not as early when we got into April. So I just needed a whole different kind of a template for my week. And then look at these colors, how pretty. Okay, so April is the same color pretty much as last year. This is all the same stuff that we've had month to month. And then when we get to the end of June, we're gonna have a whole other refresh and reset. So here it is, your refresh is here. Let's go. This is different. We didn't have this on the first quarter. No, we didn't. This space was blank at the end of the first quarter. But you know what? This is all different. This is all different. So this box fits this. What could you change in your environment? So most people accept the status quo of where they work, play, and rest, but it doesn't have to be that way. Small tweaks to these spaces can have huge payoffs for goal follow through. So that's why we didn't have the box. This was about giving yourself a where and a when with the habits that you want to establish. This is about changing the environment. So if you'd like to play your guitar more often, hang it on the wall instead of leaving it in the case in the closet. If you would like to eat more fruits and vegetables, move them to the front of the refrigerator so you'll see them each time you open the door. If you'd like to read instead of scrolling in the carpool lane, put a book in your handbag. Okay, so the quarterly refresh is not the same each time. And then we have new routines, of course, in the notes page, and another weekly rhythms for your third season. And then when we get to the end of September, let's see what our page that's kind of the variable page is. It's right here. Add accountability. So, for example, you and a friend are both working through a year-long reading plan. You text each other when you complete each day's assignment, which spurs you to catch up if you haven't made time for it yet. You and a friend commit to meeting once a week to complete a desired behavior, such as serving at a women's center, meal planning, or anything else. Knowing someone is depending on you makes it less likely that you will back out. And then you and a friend join up once a month to grab coffee, talk about your goal progress, and help each other choose your best next steps. So how could you add more accountability to your goals? At the end of December, we get a 2025 year in review. Here's the month in review, and here is the year in review. You just lived a cultivated year. Little by little, you made intentional choices about how you spent your time, the people you spent it with, and the things you tended to. It wasn't perfect. Amen to that. But you lived this year with joy and purpose. Write out a highlight from each month to mark this year in your life. Now, this might be a fun thing to do along the way instead of waiting until the end of the year. What a year you've had. Use this page to remember it. This year of growth, learning, mistakes, triumphs, things you'd rather forget, the beautiful memories. There will never be another year quite like this one. The best is yet to come. So these boxes all have a different prompt. Favorite memory, best new habit, most memorable adventure, milestone celebrated, biggest change, most beautiful sight I saw, best thing I read or listened to, person I'm most grateful for, song that I listened to on repeat, best meal or recipe, most surprising goal progress, and best anything, fill in the blank. And then we have some dot grid notes pages, and I think that is it. You did it this year. You chose progress, not perfection, moved forward through challenges, cultivated your life intentionally, and your little by little progress really added up. Today we celebrate you, and here's the back. There's no pocket on the back. Here is this PowerSheets, and this is last year's. So they have the same size, they have the same reinforced corners here. The corners are rounded on the cover, but the page corners are not rounded. Okay, so let's dive a little bit deeper into that Cultivated Life Evaluation Guide. So this is basically to help you when you're doing your monthly refreshes An intentional life is cultivated through consistent actions that add up little by little over time. I'm going to go kind of quickly. The content shows you that you're going to deal with each of the areas of life plus your free choice 8th area of life. Let's just go through it. Use the guide along with your PowerSheets, understand the rating system, find your average, skip statements as needed, and be encouraged if your numbers are lower. Don't be afraid of a 10. Choose your own adventure and see the big picture. You will find a section with charts and tables to track your progress over the year. If you are a visual person or love data, these pages are for you. All right, so I looked up what some of these abbreviations mean, PW and QR. PW is prep work and QR is quarterly refresh. So we've already looked at this, but basically this helps you to establish a score in the community category. You just answer the 10 questions and average your score. And then there's another one for the second quarter, third quarter, and fourth quarter. So now we go into the family category and we have another set of 10 questions. And they've made different categories for people who do have children as opposed to people who don't have children. This is the finances section, health and wellness, work and learning, faith. It says in the intro that even though spiritual and personal growth are combined into one category, in PowerSheets they have split them up here. So you can either use both of them or just one of them. You've got the faith section and you've got the personal growth section. Here's what I would do. I would add up my total number here for January in personal growth, and then my total number here for faith, and then divide by 20. And then this is your free choice category. So mine might be time with my grandchildren. I don't know. Last year it was my relationship with God. I haven't decided what my free category will be. This is a quarterly refresh. This page is for the first quarter, the second quarter, and the third quarter. And this is your refresh, so it is looking ahead. So this third quarter one is going to cover October, November, December. You don't have one for January, February, March. So the end of March, you would fill this out. Then use the tables to track your progress from the year. Okay, so if you want to put all of your scores in one table, this is where you do it. I love this. I love data. Now it did say, I noticed back here in the beginning, it said that the charts started on page 72. They actually start on page 70, but that's an easy thing to figure out. But each of these columns stands for a month: January, February, March, April, May, June, and the shaded ones stand for prep work, quarterly refresh, quarterly refresh, quarterly refresh. And then use this chart to plot your monthly ratings for each category. So I think you're going to want to have 8 different colors of pens because you could draw a graph for each one. So community is kind of an orangey looking one, and you could make an orange line to just track your number each month. Family is pink, finances is blue, health and wellness is green. It tells you the colors right here. I think that's going to be really fun. And then you have dot grid pages, 1, 2 of those, and then you have just a blank, nice ice blue page. You did it. This year you chose progress, not perfection, and I think it says that at the end of your PowerSheets as well. Okay, so I recommend this thing because it's really difficult to arrive at a score 1 through 10 unless you have some questions to break down the category with a little bit. I recommend getting this unless you might get creative and break down community into 10 questions that you design yourself. That's an idea. So then you could make a score based on your own personalized questions. But I think that for me, I like having the Cultivated Life evaluation guide, and I may edit a question or two here and there if I want to. Now, I do want to say that I get messy in my PowerSheets. Like when I first started my PowerSheets, it was my very first time using it. I was so neat and tidy, but now I'm not. So this is the current month that we are on, and I have just written in a way that makes sense to me. I can read it, so you don't have to be able to read it. Now, I didn't break down these 6 goals, but this is what it looks like when I fill these out. This has been kind of a weird season for me because I have been adjusting to my father passing away, and I have not kept my tending sheets fully present like I should. So let me fill out some of this in time lapse with you because we're about halfway through the month now. this is a realistic look at my PowerSheets. This is my current month. As you can see, I don't fill out everything all the time, and I'm not successful at actually doing my daily habits all the time. Okay, before we go, let's make this video even longer. I picked up the routines workbook and I've started filling this out. I recommend this, you guys. This is a really neat book, and I don't know the price right now, but hopefully when I'm editing the video, I will pop that price up on the screen. But it talks about why routines matter, why they fail, how to create your first routine, how to live them out, your routines over time, the routine library. I love this one. It gives you examples based on like pretend people, or maybe they are drawn from real people's routines, but I love looking at other people's routines. Then a troubleshooting guide, tracking your routines, final encouragement, and recommended resources. So I have just gone through and underlined some things. I listed some habits and routines that I have which have been helpful, some things that I do that are unhelpful. I'm all about like self-improvement, but this is what the book looks like. I've just started using it. I've gotten as far as page 8 so far, but this section is what is the difference between a rhythm and a routine? The power of routine. What are some of your current routines or habits that support what matters to you? And some examples. What matters most to you? What are your big picture goals? Why routines fail? Opportunities and limitations of your current season. I just love how artful everything is in all of these books. Creating your first routine. What are the pain points of your days or weeks right now? What problem are you experiencing that a routine might solve? This is really helpful. Now name what matters and choose a place to start. And you're going to create a foundational routine. Strategy is the key to sticking to any routine. Living it out. What established habit or mile marker in your day could you use as a cue for your new routine? What can you add to or change about your environment that would make you more likely to begin or complete a new routine? How could you reduce the energy needed to begin or complete your routine? How could you make it easier to make the best choice? Dot grid pages here with little flowers down at the bottom. The routines library. Okay, this is what I love. Routine 1, 2, 3, 4, and they tell you like what kind of a person it is and what kind of a life they are in. A 40-something mom's daily evening routine. A 30-something mom's daily evening routine. A young professional's weekly connection routine. A 60-something's weekly connection routine. A retiree's weekly home tending routine. A 40-something's daily home tending routine, an empty nester's daily morning routine, a 30-something's daily morning routine. Isn't this fun? A 50-something's weekly reset routine, a 30-something's weekly reset routine, a 40-something's fitness routine, a 50-something's weekly meal planning routine. I love that. I would love to see a whole book of those. Troubleshooting guide. Tracking your routines. It keeps you honest. It helps you celebrate. Your brain loves it. Look at this. Yearly tracking of daily routines. Are you kidding me? So you have room for 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 4 daily routines, and you can track it throughout the whole year. Then weekly routines, and you have room for 8 of those. This is great. Final encouragement, start small. So this is just like more routine space. We set up a routine in the beginning, and then we went through a lot of different chapters, and now we have room for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 routines. So it could be a weekly or a daily routine. And I think what I would do is somewhere write daily or weekly, especially if I'm going to be using the trackers, the weekly and the daily trackers. I think I would just put a D for daily and a W for weekly at the top of each one of these. Take your routines to the next level with the PowerSheets Intentional Goal Planner. So this really works hand in hand with this. This is a digging deeper sort of a thing, and they talk about digging deeper a lot. But let's talk about 2 accessories that I picked up. The Snap-in Paper Pack To-Do List. Now look at this. It's a tabbed, thick sheet. It's not cardstock, but it's a nice paperweight. And then this part can pop in and out of this size coil. It's reinforced, so it's not going to tear probably. You still would be careful with it, but it's probably not going to tear. And it is basically a to-do list, but you could also put a routine on it. And then you can pop it in to your PowerSheets anywhere you want, like this. Like that. And then when you close the book, you can see it right there, and it matches this. So pretty. So you get how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You get 10 of those. Now, since you get 10, I would like to probably use mine as routines instead of as to-do lists. It just says to-do list on here, but I think I would use mine hand in hand with my routines book and put my routines on movable pages. And then I also picked up a set of gel pens, and they are just beautiful. They've got just pretty patterns on them, and they all write in black. It says they are 0.5 millimeter black gel ink. And here are the different ones that you get. They match, like this one matches March, this one matches February, this one matches January, and this one doesn't match any of them, but it matched last year's ice blue, and it matches the routines workbook. Do you want me to just be brave and write my name right here? Did it. It writes nicely, and I like a clicker. It's fun to have a pen that matches your PowerSheets. You could just slip it on and keep your pen with your PowerSheets if you want to. And then our Cultivated evaluation guide. I'm just having fun. And then this is just an extra. Now make sure you come back, because I'm going to do a whole different review on this guy. This is Write the Word Advent, A Thrill of Hope. I have heard of Write the Word before. It's another publication from Cultivate What Matters, and it is basically a devotion book, I think, but I haven't even looked very much at it yet. So I'm going to just flip through it quickly, but we will have a whole other video on this. But it's for the season of Advent, and it has this ribbon bookmark. Your word is a lamp for my feet and a light on my path. Psalm 119, verse 105. It's available right now, but the video is coming. Thank you guys so much for watching. This was an in-depth video, and I am going to do a setup video with my PowerSheets when I finally move into them. Right now it's October 21st, so I have plenty of time. I'm going to be working through my routines workbook first of all, and I might decide to take some of those routines and put them on these little snap-in to-do list pages. I want to really be thoughtful about it. I've learned some stuff after setting goals last year. I've kind of learned which ones were my best goals, were the most achievable, measurable, and I did not achieve all of last year's goals. I still have time, and I have achieved some of last year's goals, but I am looking forward to a new year. You know, you aim high, and if you are aiming high and you are doing all of the actions that it takes to move ahead little by little, then even if you are not reaching your goals within a 12-month period, you are closer to reaching those goals. Don't lose heart if you haven't checked off your goals. Some things really take more than 12 months to do. Thank you guys so much for watching. My discount code with Cultivate What Matters is Plan Sarah Plan, and that will get you 10% off. $75 is the free shipping threshold if that is important to you. I mean, I don't like to buy things I don't need in order to get free shipping, but if I'm this close to getting free shipping, I will go ahead and do that. But I recommend, if you're just getting the bare bones, I recommend getting PowerSheets and the Cultivated Life Evaluation Guide, because that will get you to $75 in free shipping, and they work so well together. But I honestly really think the Routines Workbook is another great add-on. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions, and I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.